Networking helped me to get promoted. Networking got me a job. And because of networking, I raised more than $4 million for my business. Networking also helped me to build a team of more than 50 A players I can trust. It helped me get into several member clubs in London. And finally, I got into various business communities where I met some of the smartest business minds out there, all because of networking. So in this episode, I unlock 15 secrets to effective networking, offering you the top strategies to maximize your networking potential and transform every encounter into a valuable opportunity. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Alexej and I'm an entrepreneur and investor who loves to network. Over my career, I've been to all kinds of events, from invite-only dinners with only 10 to 20 people where I knew no one at the table, to others that span an entire city with 500,000 people present, such as South by Southwest in Austin or the Web Summit in Lisbon. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. In this episode, I'm going to share with you 15 best practices for networking informed by my very first-hand experiences and knowledge. If you're excited to dive into the first strategy, go ahead and press that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Now, on position number 1, set an objective. Before you arrive at an event, it's important that you come with an objective in mind. For instance, you might set a goal like, I want to have 5 great conversations, or I want to speak to this particular person at that event. If you can get hold of the attendee list before the event and understand who will be present, that will be even better. Now, a really famous person, Tony Robbins, said, setting goals is the first step in turning the invisible into the visible. And that quote applies here quite well. Now, on the second position, work the room. What's the point in attending a networking event if you don't make the most out of it? Therefore, you should make sure you work the room and aim to make as many connections as possible. A common misconception is you should aim towards 3 or 4 good conversations. No, aim for as many as possible. You can then invite the ones you particularly like to a conversation or to drinks after the event, and you can bond much more there. But at the networking event itself, try to stay focused and keep moving. Another point is to ensure you don't stick with a comfort person all night. It can be calming to stay with someone you feel relaxed around, but this is wasting the opportunity. You're also doing a disservice to this person, as that person might not feel comfortable telling you to meet other people and, go away. So that person is also missing out on more networking at the event. So move on, work the room, and connect with others. Here are 3 things I do when I'm trying to work the room. So pro tip number 1, keep moving physically. It can help you get into new conversations and keep momentum going. If you're moving around, people's eyes will meet yours and it's easier to start a conversation. Equally, go to a corner of the room, pull your mobile phone out and keep monitoring the room who might be an interesting person to speak to while checking your phone sometimes so you don't look like somebody who constantly stares at the room. Pro tip number 2, towards the end of the conversation, a good tactic is to ask, is there anyone else you think I should speak to? Or is there anyone else who is knowledgeable about XYZ? This question feeds the listener's ego and you're most likely to get help. Now, pro tip number 3, have a smart way to leave the conversation. When you want to leave, be polite but direct. For instance, hey, this was super interesting, but let's mingle a little bit more and talk to a few more people here. However, do bear in mind the location of the event and cultural differences, as this directness may seem rude in some cultures. In the UK, for instance, it may be better to err on the side of politeness, such as, oh, my friend has just arrived, let me say hi, and then walk away. Or say, I need to excuse myself to use the bathroom, and then walk away and never come back. Don't overthink it too much though. The key is to get out of that conversation without just walking away, as that would be indeed quite rude and awkward, especially if you turn your back and just start a conversation with the person next to the one you just talked to. Now, if you learned something from that video already, and if you are still watching this, chances you are still here, which is amazing. Please leave a yes in the comment section below. Now, on position number 3, don't be negative. Remember, at networking events, you are essentially a walking advertisement for yourself. By being negative or saying things like, isn't this event boring, or isn't this wine bad, you're likely giving a bad impression of yourself to others. After all, negativity is just insecurity disguised. So you put off everyone by being negative. Instead, always aim to be positive and focus on the positive in your experience and bond over those. Now, on position number 4, give value. When you make a connection, focus on giving something to them. Remember, give first, receive later. For instance, you could offer to connect with someone they want to talk to, or ask them what challenges they are trying to solve and see if you can help in some way. No one wants to network with someone only focused on their personal needs. It's totally okay to be open about your needs, but never do so at the expense of others. Good networkers are those interested in helping people, such as those who provide mentorship, coaching, or simply a helping hand. The 5th point or strategy is connecting people. Connecting people with each other at events is one really quick way to give value to the previous point I mentioned. Both parties will thank you, remember you, and be grateful. It also gives you a great option if you're looking to leave a conversation, and it gives you room to talk to others. The connecting can be as simple as, hey, by the way, this is a really interesting person. They're an investor in fintech. I know you aren't raising at the moment, but they're super useful as a person to talk to. Let me introduce you. Once you have introduced people to each other and seen they have connected, move on and continue to work the room. The next strategy is take the first step. Don't be afraid to initiate first contact. It's not hard as it looks. For instance, the easiest conversation opener is, hey, how was the journey to get here? Or if it's a small event with a high chance of all the invitees knowing the organizer, you can even ask, how do you know, square brackets, the name of the organizer? We can even use another approach. So let's say you see that person standing there talking to 2 people. Go over, tap that person at the shoulder, say hi, and then shake hands with the 2 other people. Now, he or she already warmed up the 2 other people, so that will drop their guard and be a really nice way for yourself to introduce yourself, and there won't be any threat to them. Now, of course, if you do that, make sure you might want to leave quickly after, because they might have had an interesting conversation and you're kind of like, interrupting it. Now, an ideal situation is one where you know 1/3 of the people at the event, and that way you can actually get another 2/3 quite quickly, and especially because you have already the social buy-in of the 1/3 of the room. You can basically use the people you know to get introductions to the other people. Now, the next strategy is don't be a weirdo. Now, no one likes weirdos, so generally avoid approaching groups already engaged in a deep, animated conversation. I know the previous point was about how to maximize approaching groups, but it's really important you can read the situation where you should not do it. Example, if you see a 2-set or 3-set in deep conversations of 2 people or 3 people, it can be bad to disturb them. You don't want to come across as intrusive or rude. But if you can see one person in the group is disengaged, then you have the option to enter the conversation and approach them. Their detached behavior indicates the other conversation is boring to them, so they may be grateful to have you approach and save them. The next strategy is look for multipliers. Multipliers is the name I give to people who are well connected and who can help you meet a lot of the other people at the event or in general immediately. Therefore, it's an excellent idea to identify the multiplier in the room and engage with that person quickly. A guaranteed multiplier is the event organizer, of course, so definitely try to speak to him or her. On this note, it's also a good idea to arrive when the party starts, so you have the opportunity to speak to that organizer before the person gets super busy. Other multipliers include investors and agency owners usually. And an additional point I want to make is that while generally I avoid tag teaming at events and it's usually best to go alone, with a multiplier it can actually be effective. Just be sure to leverage your relationship. So pro tip here with a multiplier: if there are numerous events happening on the same day and you meet someone interesting, such as, again, a multiplier, you can say to them, I'm going to this other event, do you want to join me? They can then bond with you in the car on the journey to the next event, and once you reach the new venue, you can part ways and meet other people, and you might then regroup later. This is quite common, especially at big conferences, which are organized across the city, where you have many events after the main event. So that's where you can then share a taxi between the different venues. Now, the next strategy is arrive early. I touched on this in my last tip as well, but arrive early and try to stay until the end is quite good. Getting there first makes it easier for you to connect to others as people arrive, but you should also try to stay until the end to maximize your experience and the takeaways. Now, another strategy is come hungry, and I mean this literally as well as figuratively. If there is food at the event, make the most of the networking opportunity it presents to you. So here's what I do. If there is food, grab yourself a plate and go and sit at a table where people are eating if there is room. That way, they're almost obliged to talk to you, plus you have a point of commonality, the food you're eating. Then once finished, grab another plate and go and sit at another table. This is a great technique because it doesn't matter how low value you are or perceive yourself to be. If you're eating next to others, that's an automatic seg into a conversation. Now, the next strategy is be genuinely interested in the other person. Always be curious about mutual benefits, and remember, curiosity is your friend. Find out what people do, how you can collaborate with them, and how you can add value to each other. Mutual benefit is the key reason that everyone is there. And of course, that's how you build trust. By bringing up a benefit for them yourself, it shows proactiveness and also builds a connection, camaraderie, and reciprocity. The next strategy is have lots of interests in your artillery. This is a simple but important point. The more interests and hobbies you have, and the more communities you join, the easier it is to find common ground with people at the events. It can give you more ideas to help people and make the networking process more enjoyable. Now, the next strategy on how to improve your networking is let the other person speak. Find the right balance in the conversation. Do not be the boring person that won't stop talking. Think of it like a game of paddle. Your ball is the topic of conversation, and the more you can swing back and forth, the less likely you are going to bore somebody else. Plus, it gives people a chance to let you know that maybe you will not connect and they're not the right fit for you. And that's okay. It's good to know. So don't just ask question after question, and remember, it's all about ebb and flow. Now, the next strategy is give genuine compliments. Genuine compliments are always welcome. If you've done some research on someone who will be at the event, but you have not met in person, it's great as an idea to say something like, "Hi, you're X, right? I've seen some really awesome stuff about you or read about you, and then I saw you at this event. It's amazing to meet you in person." It's good to say something like this, as they will be happy and you have essentially endorsed them. It's also showing that you don't have much of an ego and they drop their guard. And let me share with you a couple more hacks to make a memorable connection. So, pro tip here, take a selfie with them, then ask their number and send them that picture. This way, people will always remember you as you send them a picture of the two of you together. And also that way you got their number. Simple and effective. Pro tip number 2, before you leave a conversation, ask the other person to quickly exchange LinkedIn information and take a screenshot of that LinkedIn page on your phone, so that way you can, remember that next day as well. Then you can organize a follow-up over LinkedIn or their, let's say, WhatsApp number you took before. This is effective because the follow-ups have an easy entry point, as you can start off with, how did you enjoy the rest of the event? Another great way to connect with someone is to determine whether you have a mutual connection. Often it can be seen as you add that person on LinkedIn, because you can see the common connections. And if you do, you can bring that mutual connection up and ask how they met or how they know each other. Now, before I cover my top tip, please hit that like button. So, my final pro tip, enjoy the process. This is paramount. If you're not having fun, it's likely not much fun for other people around you either. Therefore, strive to adopt a positive mindset and focus on having a good time as well as a productive time. Remember, networking should always be fun. So, as we conclude our exploration, remember, networking actually never ends. It takes time and is a continuous process. And the more you get to know someone, the more you're able to unlock. It's a snowball effect. They can start to see you more as a friend and begin to care for you beyond just transactional value. Then random serendipitous things may happen that can result in a big jump for your business or your personal life, or both. So there were quite a few points and strategies I listed. So let's recap all the 15 strategies here. Set an objective. Work the room. Don't be negative. Give value. Connecting people. Take the first step. Don't be a weirdo. Look for the multipliers. Arrive early. Come hungry. Be genuinely interested in the other person. Have lots of interest in your artillery. Let the other person speak. Give genuine compliments. And finally, enjoy the process. Feeling more confident for your next networking event? One of my favorite books on that topic is Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty by Harvey Mackay. I covered that book in my top 10 books videos for SaaS founders. I put the link on that episode below. And I drop an episode like this with strategies and concepts for you once a week. Please hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you get notified every single time I release an episode. If you have a fellow colleague or team member, if you're part of a Slack group or Telegram group or WhatsApp group with other founders or colleagues that could get value from this video, please share this with them. I want to help as many people as possible to build the network. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'm Alexej, and I will see you in the next episode.